Morning. Welcome back to Alright, What's Next? Today, my dad is on the way up. He just bought a new friggin' table saw. He bought a 10-inch contractor grade saw stop. He was going to set it up in his shop, but it's frickin' February in Nebraska. So it's like 10 below zero outside. So he's going to bring it up here, and we're going to assemble it in here. And talk about, okay, we'll assemble it, put it back in his truck, take it back to his house. Gone back and forth on that, and it's like the size of the saw, it's just not going to be practical, so it's actually going to stay here in my shop. And it's like, oh, that's so sad. I'm getting a saw stop that I didn't have to pay for. But anyways, what this video is going to be is not going to be a review. I'm not really going to go over the freaking settings. I'm not going to go over any of the specifications of the saw. It's going to more or less just be, this is what it takes to unbox and assemble. We're not going to run commentary on it. I'm going to freaking shut the sound off because we're going to freaking have the music playing, and we're going to put the saw together, and it'll give you an idea of what it takes to put together a saw stop. When you take it out of the box, how many freaking pieces there are, what it, with the contractor, you probably need 2 people because the center section, the actual saw portion of it, there is a lot of cast iron in there, and it's going to be freaking heavy. I think grand total of this saw is like 350 pounds. I don't know, I haven't actually seen the weight on the box yet, but yeah, so that's all this video is going to be. We're just going to put it together. I'll talk about a little bit at the end of the video, what you got to do to set it up, dial it in, blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah, it's one more of my dad's tools that's coming into my shop because he has a garage that he can put things in, and things have to be moved around so he can park vehicles in there. My shop is just a shop. Plus, his garage isn't heated; it's not air conditioned. My shop is, so it's going to live in here, and it'll go along with his scroll saw that I've got there. I've got a spindle sander over there. I've got his face planer over there. I've got his drill press over there. Chop saw down there. I've got a router table over there that belongs to him. His brace and bit set is behind me. That antique brace and bit set that you might have seen on a previous video if you ever watched any of my shit. I've got a worm gear drive skill saw that belongs to him. I've got, I have a lot of his tools up here. And again, I have them back because they're in my shop. They're mine now. And if he wants them back, too bad. I keep my shop padlocked. And it's not like I can get in because I've got his bolt cutters too. But he'll be here in just a couple minutes. I'm going to move the camera around, and then I'm going to turn the sound off, and then from here on it's just going to be really good license-free freaking heavy metal music that YouTube provides to the content creators. All right, so once we're done assembling, I'll come back and I'll talk about the saw a little bit and show you what you got to do to go through to freaking actually dial everything in, if there is any much in the way of dialing shit in. Okay. Alright, so my camera, my original camera that I bought when I started my YouTube channel, finally freaking died. I replaced it a while ago with a supposedly upgraded fucking camera, and it ruined a bunch of goddamn videos that I had made. It would not adjust the aperture, whatever freaking stupid camera settings to record inside. It just made everything freaking piss yellow. That camera is not being used anymore. I went back to my freaking original camera, which is a royal pain in the ass. Things freaking were failing on it. It finally died during the recording of this, which sucked. So I lost out on the final assembly, which was putting on the rails, which isn't a great deal. What you missed out on is you bolt these back rails on. You bolt the freaking front rail on that already has the tape strips installed. This you loosely bolt on until you're ready to dial it in. And to dial in your fence, I've got your 1, 2, 3 blocks. It's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. All you do, make sure it's not touching a tooth. Slide your fence up against it. Actually, sorry. Make sure it's touching a tooth. With this setup, you want to make sure that it is actually centered and touching multiple teeth up against it, because the tooth is wider than the actual blade. Put it in there. Check your dial indicator. If you got to adjust it, which I got to adjust slightly. And that's just a matter of breaking your pocket screwdriver. Okay. The needle is set at exactly 3. That means with this 1, 2, 3 lock, we are probably within, a thousandth of an inch to accurate. So that is freaking perfect. This should be set up. You can trust your measurements pretty much. Alright, the other freaking thing we do is check run out from here to here. Now they've got like super expensive things that go down into your miter slot here. It's got a dial indicator that you can put on your freaking tooth here, mark the tooth, roll it back, check it, and it's like an extremely expensive tool. I guess not extremely expensive, they're like $80 or something like that. But I think it's kind of unnecessary for woodworking, because we're not building parts for the fucking space shuttle. If you're a couple of thousands off, wood glue and a clamp, you'll pull it together and you won't even know it's there. So just to make sure your runouts right, get a permanent marker, mark the tooth so you know which one you're freaking working off of. Take a combination square, rotate it down, push your combination square up against there, up against the tooth. And if you can hear that, there's some resistance. Now, you want to roll that tooth back and I think it's slightly more on the back side than on the front side, but it's not much. You're probably talking, well under a thousandth of a difference run out from front to back. And when it comes to woodworking, it's not going to be that significant. So right right out of the box, this thing's extremely accurate. So now I got my precision miter gauge here. We'll set this at 0. Bring it up here. We'll take our 1, 2, 3 block. We're going to put it right up against here, right up against the fence, hold it in tight, and there is literally 0 gap along here, 0 gap along here. So we're 90. Perfect right there. And then one of the common cuts, you know, is going to be your 30. I got a 30-60 triangle here. So you'll just take it, put it right there. So it's 30 along this way, 90 right here. Make sure you're not touching a tooth. Push it up against the blade, push it up against here. There is 0 gap there, 0 gap there. It is fucking balls on. That's right out of the box. So I really, couldn't be happier with that. So, right out of the box, 10-inch contract frickin' saw stop. This has the 30-inch extended fence down here. It's pretty cool. I'm glad my dad doesn't have a freaking good shop because I got a saw stop. All right, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.